Why the Slave Bible removed most of the Old Testament. The Slave Bible was first published in 1807. It was literally a Bible for slaves. It had only 232 of the 1,189 chapters. This version omitted passages that could incite rebellion. The story of Exodus was one such example. Passages promoting submission were included instead. Christianity was used to justify slavery. Abolitionists used Christianity to advocate for liberation. This included Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. So the slave owners literally rewrote the book. The Slave Bible was not actually called that. The censored version was published as select parts of the Holy Bible for the use of the Negro slaves in the British West India Islands. The title made its purpose clear. The treatment of slaves was brutal and dehumanizing. Religion was one of the few sources of solace for them. They were not allowed to read the Bible themselves. The New Testament was left largely intact. The narrative of Jesus promoting servitude was helpful. This version supported the slave owners' objectives. It made slaves believe that God wanted their submission. But the Exodus story was dangerous. Moses was seen as a potentially subversive leader. The rebellion against Babylonian captivity was likewise left out. The publishers thought these sections could instill in slaves a dangerous hope for freedom and dreams of equality. This censorship was not a random act by zealous enthusiasts. The Church of England fully approved the edited version. In fact, it was Beilby Porteous, Bishop of London, who first had the idea. Addressing a group of missionaries, Reverend Porteous wrote,
"Prepare a short form of public prayers, together with the select portions of Scripture, particularly those which relate to the duties of slaves towards their masters."
The missionaries were sent to live on or near plantations. They aimed to educate slaves in the Christian faith, but they could only do so with the permission of the plantation owner. So there may have been another reason for the censorship. The missionaries needed to make sure the passages they read were innocuous. Porteous actually wrote to plantation owners in the West Indies. He urged them to allow the slaves to visit Sunday services. He didn't believe Christianity could incite rebellion.
Can the religion of the meek and humble Jesus, that religion which above all things inculcates humility, content, patience, subordination, can that produce ambition, pride, discontent, and resistance to lawful authority?
The Slave Bible was not the only Bible that was redacted. There were other versions with minor changes. However, the Slave Bible was unique in scale. Slaves were often baptized upon arrival in the Caribbean. They were supposedly civilized through Christianity. The Atlantic slave trade persisted for over 300 years. Between 1662 and 1807, over 2.7 million slaves were shipped out of Africa. The British West Indies was a major destination. In 1807, Parliament abolished the slave trade, but slavery persisted. In 1823, the Demerara Rebellion took place in British Guiana. This uprising was led by slaves. They had been exposed to Christian teachings. Slavery itself wasn't officially abolished until 1833. By then, the Slave Bible had been largely forgotten.